How's it going, you outlaw legends? I'm REDNITRATE, your resident Red Dead addict, and welcome into the most wanted story mode changes that Rockstar refuse to update. This has been in the works for a long time, and the things I've selected for the video are based primarily on comments I've received in previous update videos that I've done in the past. I've then combined that with the input from various Rockstar-oriented social media communities that I'm active in, and I feel the points that are raised here are a good representation of what a lot of us want most out of story mode. The first highly requested change I'm going to be looking at is the Offhand Holster, which is given to you during the mission currently playing in the background now, called Blessed Are the Meek, where you bust Micah out of jail. The secondary holster is given to you by Micah at the end of the mission and gives you the dual wielding ability. Many players may enjoy this and have probably never given it a second thought. There is, however, a large portion of the community that hates the fact that you can't remove said holster once it has been passed on to you. For those who might not know what I'm talking about, here's a photo of Arthur before the Micah jailbreak mission. And here's a photo of him after it. As you can see, there is now an additional holster, which is of course what allows you to dual wield. A great feature for sure, I'm not knocking it, but player choice is always key in big realistic open world games like Red Dead Redemption 2. And for those out there that like to get right into their detailed outfit customization, historically accurate lookalikes, role-playing and stuff like that, well, it's a real bummer. Even small details like a permanently fixed holster can really throw off the creative aspirations of the community. The following bits of footage were not recorded by me personally, which is why it might look a little bit different. They were in fact though provided by one of my legendary viewers by the name of Monsters, who was kind enough to help me cover this next item, which is the Navy Revolver. As most of you probably already know, the Navy Revolver is a Red Dead Online exclusive weapon that never made its way to story mode. While there has been a lot of online content requested by viewers, this remains at the top of the list. To give you an idea of just how in demand it is, it's consistently ranked as one of, or in the case of my latest story mode update video, the most popular and liked comment on the page. I can totally understand why as well. It's a great gun with a lot of historical significance, and while I understand that most online content has to stay exclusive for financial reasons, I truly feel that this would be a worthy addition and wouldn't require much effort on Rockstar's behalf. There are already some great alternatives such as the LeMat Revolver and the story mode exclusive M1899 pistol, which is actually one of my favourite guns in the game, but the Navy Revolver has always held a special place in many fans' hearts, and with the huge response in favour of it, I truly feel its implementation would drive a number of players back to story mode. The next item on the agenda is New Game Plus. This edition has been highly requested by the community, and I'm right there with them. For those of you unaware, New Game Plus is a feature in many modern video games, where upon completion of the story, you are given the option of starting over from the beginning. However, this time against considerably harder enemies, while also retaining items, money, and perks that you collected on your first run. Being a massive fan of story mode myself, and having completed the game multiple times, I absolutely love this idea for Red Dead Redemption 2. Once you get a solid comprehension of the game and all of the enemy mechanics, the combat becomes relatively easy in most of the missions, and the added challenge would be a lot of fun. In terms of what we could keep, I feel things like trinkets and talismans would probably be a good choice. So it allowed us to retain all of the perks that they provide, and to be honest, the hours it took to collect them in the first place. And team that up with the equipment that's being collected throughout the game, and maybe even consider things like custom loadouts and modified weapons. With things like that by the player's side, I feel they could really amp up the challenge, especially in the earlier chapters where items are normally so scarce. This would mean they could increase the enemy difficulty and still keep things pretty balanced, which is something I feel would not only be a lot of fun, but would give the game even more replayability than it already has. Next up is our boy John Marston. Now, I actually plan on doing a separate video on John at some point in the future, so I'm going to be keeping this relatively brief because, well, otherwise we'll be here all day. But I couldn't do a requested story mode changes video without at least touching base on this point. The saga of John Marston, or as some in the community refer to him as Arthur Marston, began not long after the game was released. Much controversy was raised with people who got to the epilogue and realised that the John that they knew and loved looked very different from the NPC that had been playing alongside them in chapters 1 to 6. Shortly after this, the Justice for John protest began and hasn't stopped since. To illustrate the point, I've got a screenshot of John from a cutscene that follows the Chapter 6 mission displayed on the screen now, where you bust him out of the Sisika Penitentiary. And here's a shot of John during the epilogue, which was taken with photo mode. As you can see, a number of things are not quite the same, and it's enough to drive many avid John Marston fans around the bend. Here I'll do a side-by-side comparison so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, there are many very subtle changes that I'll discuss in my dedicated John video, but the most notable differences are of course his hair and his beard, which very closely resembles that of the game's protagonist Arthur Morgan. Much research into the subject reveals that this odd decision from Rockstar was likely made because of them not wanting to design a whole new hair and beard growth system for John, and instead pasted in the same ones that they used for Arthur in the pre-epilogue portions of the game. Now, this might not be a big concern to some, but for others it's quite significant. Some in the comments even going as far to say that they outright refuse to play the epilogue because of how immersion breaking it is. While I might not feel that strongly about it personally, it has always annoyed me, and I must admit that I think it was a strange move for a company that took pride in making such a highly realistic game. The last item for the video is by far the most requested feature when considering all outlets of Rockstar fandom, and that of course is the Rockstar Editor, aka Director Mode, aka the Cinematic Camera. The Rockstar Editor was a feature included with GTA 5 that allowed you to record, edit, and heavily modify most aspects of a video clip or screenshot. This, along with the Director Mode, enabled content creators to make some of the most inspired machinima and virtual photography ever to be seen in the community. To give you an idea of what this could mean for Red Dead Redemption 2, I have a very special treat. The clip coming up in just a moment is kindly provided by a very talented cinematic gaming creator and friend of mine by the name of Voyagers Revenge, who makes some of the finest Red Dead content available on the interwebs. I've selected a small sample from one of his impressive videos to properly show off a dedicated editor's potential. Keep in mind that Voyager created this using fan-made cinematic mods on the PC version of the game. It's truly an experience though. Check this out.
Let's kill these morons! Who's next? Come on! Keep busy, I'm moving! Run away, punk! We gotta keep moving forward! Kill these bastards!
how incredible was that? Unbelievable that it was created using only fan-made mods. And of course the incredible editing talents of my dude Voyagers Revenge. I'll be sure to include all of his links in the description below. If by any chance you haven't had the pleasure of checking out his channel already, do yourself a serious favour and go and subscribe to him right now. I promise you won't regret it. And yeah, that's about it for today, folks. This has been a tough one for me, honestly, because I love Rockstar. They have provided me with some of the most formative gaming experiences of my life. But at the same time, it's a game I feel very passionately about. And to a degree, I represent a small portion of the community who is also very passionate about a lot of these issues. So I feel a certain level of responsibility to voice them in an effort to maybe get them addressed. Also, don't stress if you have any concerns about the game that haven't been discussed in this video. Just make sure you leave a comment letting me know what it is, and I'll be sure to consider it when I make another one of these story mode update videos. If you enjoyed this one though, please hit the like button down below, and if you are new around here, definitely consider subscribing for all future Red Dead Redemption 2 and Rockstar Games related content. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm REDNITRATE. Stay legendary, everyone. Bye now.